Russ talked about a two-quarterback system recently, saying, quote, I think it would strike fear in some defenses.
What is that? Crazy photo. Like,
he looking like I'm taking your job.
Like, can we take the big board real quick? Take the big board.
Like, who?
Look specifically at Justin Fields if we can.
We see what you're doing here. Okay.
He said, I'm going to take your job. I'm like, you'll wind up.
You about to lose your job.
Oh, hilarious.
But he's not going to lose his job.
Hilarious. Let's get to the dialogue. 2-5. Do you love or do you hate a two-quarterback system for the Steelers?
Nah, I love it. I mean, it's not the first time this happened before. Even I was part of one with, I remember Donovan McNabb, who was a really, really good quarterback. People forget that of the Eagles. And we had Michael Vick coming in from jail. You know, so he was kind of rusty, right? And then, like, we didn't want to have a thing where it was like a real quarterback controversy because Mike was just getting back in the flow of things. But, yeah, there would be plays where we would run the ball, right? We'd come in there with the little, his packages. He might have like 4 packages a game. Now, you're talking of what, 60-some plays a game back then? So, hey, as a defense, you got to prepare for all that. I look at even something more recent. Taysom Hill, right? I watched not only Derek Carr playing quarterback, but I remember when Drew Brees would come in there. He's the starter, and then Taysom come in there, get his little runs in there. The defense got to watch after that. So I just feel like with Justin Fields, and it's funny that this even happened because I was already talking about that. Like, dang, if they had a system where obviously the best quarterback plays, who is Russell, and then have the most gadget plays, right? Because one thing that Justin Fields does great, he could run. Mm-hmm. Now, here and there, you don't have to do a whole bunch of read options and all this and really dissect the defense. You could just run the ball here and there, throw a little dump pass. That'd be great for him. That's like the best situation for a red shirt year. Think about red shirt, you could play a little bit of plays a game. You get more experience. I like the idea. I like it.
Oh, man.
You don't like it?
I think I hate it. Now, as a defender, I hate it because I hate two-quarterback systems. It makes it harder on the defense. But now let me speak as a fan. The reason I hate it is because it tempts the Steelers. It tempts the Steelers. The most beloved player on any football team is the backup quarterback. They're loved because as soon as the starter sucks, man, if only the backup was in there. They're beloved. But the problem is, I think about having that two-quarterback system. It's like having a best friend of the opposite sex. Because when you sit in there in your relationship and it goes sour, you start thinking to yourself, man, but they were there for me, but they listen to me, and they show up for me, and they all these things. I don't even like the temptation. I saw it with the Philadelphia Eagles in 2020. If you want to say all's well that ends well, so be it. But when Jalen Hurts was there, it may have been 2021. Shady, correct me if I'm wrong. When Jalen Hurts was there, family, the week 1 game, he wasn't even active. Carson Wentz was active. Then by week 3 and week 4, Jalen Hurts had a couple of packages. First, he was out there at wideout. Then he was out there at quarterback, and Carson Wentz was out there at wideout. Now, by week 11, Eagles fans are saying, we want Hurts. Hurts went in there. He went 1-3. He's shined, won his first game against the Saints. And there was so much turmoil that year because you had this two-quarterback system. Now, again, all is well that ends well. It worked out for the Philadelphia Eagles, one would suggest and one would surmise. I just don't like it because right now the Steelers are looking for continuity at quarterback. At least that's what I've been sold. A two-quarterback system, in my mind, Joy Taylor, it doesn't give you the continuity that you're looking for. And let Russ struggle and let Fields go out there and have a couple QB sweeps on 3rd and 2 from midfield to go 48 yards to the crib. Now everybody's going to be like, oh, maybe we should play Fields more.
His job.
I mean, if you feel that way about your best friend, they was never really your friend. But,
that's true, too, Joy.
Listen, I can't decide if I hate it or not. I'm firm in that if you have more than one quarterback, you have no quarterback. Mm-hmm. That has always been my policy on this. When you go into every year, we're going to do it this year too. We're going to training camp, and one of these teams is going to be like, oh, it's a quarterback battle. Like, okay, that means y'all are not very good because you don't have your guy. Yeah. I don't look at it exactly like that because while the backup quarterback can have a bit of an allure because, you kind of romanticize what they might be able to do, or they come in for a series and they do something special and you're like, oh, maybe they are better. Usually at some point they get thrown out there and you find out they are in fact the backup quarterback for a reason. And Justin Fields was just recently playing, so we do have a pretty fresh memory of what he is capable of. Mm-hmm. So I do think that it's not an exact situation where you're going into training camp and who's going to be the starter. Russell Wilson will be the starter. I believe he will look good enough in training camp to close that conversation, and I do think that it would be wise of the Steelers to use Justin Fields in particular packages and situations. To me, that's not really a two-quarterback system. Taysom Hill was never the quarterback to me. He was a specific gadget player, a really, really good one, and to me, he was a football player. Like, he's kind of hard to describe. He wouldn't be a starting quarterback, but he was so invaluable to that system because he completely messed everything up. He did things that Drew didn't do and was able to confuse the defense. He was a physical player. Like, that is exactly what I think Justin Fields should be in this situation.
But don't you think there's a difference in the sense that you make a brilliant point? Taysom isn't a quarterback. He's not even listed really as a quarterback. When Drew Brees was there particularly, he was listed as a U-back and an F-back and a wing back and all these other things. So you're never going to start Taysom.
I don't want to be disrespectful, but like, I don't also want to go through the numbers either. Like,
okay, so you're saying Justin isn't
I'm not saying he's not a quarterback. And I think that he is not competing with Russ in that sense, in a lot of ways, in my opinion.
But he runs well.
But he's an excellent runner. He's much better at wrestling than running. Like and that department, and that has extreme value in specific situations. Yes, where I also don't completely hate it is sometimes with these teams, they're very desperate. You know, they just want to try and find wins. They want to find a way to get to a good record, or just scratch their way to the playoffs. And that's not the Steelers. They're not a desperate organization. They're very well run. They're very sturdy. Mike Tomlin is not swayed by outside opinions. So I think he's going to do the best thing for the team. And if he does end up pulling Russ at some point, and I think that would be because Russ is playing really terribly, it's because he's seen enough from Justin Fields to feel confident making that move. I just don't look at them as a panicky organization. So normally my answer would be this is awful, but because it's the Steelers, I don't hate it entirely.
Yeah, I'm on the fence with this because I hate it because when you play in the National Football League, it's all about rhythm, getting yourself in the rhythm, right? I'm sure the more carries you got, you're like, okay, hey, I know where these dudes is going, whatever. Same thing at receiver. Hey, I know where they cover 2, cover 3. I know, hey, how fast they move, and I got me a couple catches. I'm in the rhythm of the game. When you do this, if Russell Wilson's your starter, you're going to mess his rhythm up in the football game. And then you touched on it. As Justin Fields comes in there, if he has a couple good plays, this stadium going to be going crazy.
It will.
And now you have a quarterback conversation that the coach is going to have to answer. But then again, as I look at it, what are the Steelers supposed to do? You traded for this young fella. Both these dudes are on one-year deals. At one point, you have to see what he has. At one point.
No.
Russell Wilson is not the future of this franchise. Whether it's 1 or 2 years, he's not the future. You traded for Justin Fields with him being so young to see, can he be that guy? So I think they're in a tough spot because at one point,
shaking her head, James
at one point you have to see what he can do, George.
No. We're not doing with this with you, James. Okay, we didn't forget.
It's going to be his job.
We know how you feel about Justin Fields, okay?
It's going to be his job.
No. First of all, Russell Wilson is not 45 years old.
I know.
He could very well be the future of the organization. What does the future mean? Why is it always got to be the next 10 years?
I give Russ 1 to 2 years. There.
Maybe. But if he played for the next 3 to 4 years, would it be a complete shock to everyone?
3-year deal, 2 years he played through.
I'll be surprised.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Why? Because you don't think Russ is that good? Because remember, they didn't give up a haul to get Justin Fields. It's not like they mortgaged their future to get Justin Fields there.
That's the thing, too, because he's playing for $2, Russell Wilson.
He is, but I'm saying, like, if Russell Wilson has a great year, right, a great year, they get to the they win the division, they get to the playoffs, they win a playoff game, why would they not sign him to a longer-term deal? I'm not talking about 6, 7, 10 years. I'm talking about a 3-year deal. You don't have to find out what you have in Justin Fields. You invested nothing in Justin Fields.
Traded for
I like that.
You traded for him, but so what?
Justin's only going to do like packages, like third down, third and shorts, do some goal line, right? Some red zone. Like, that's not wrong with that.
What do you have? What do you lose?
We're all different on Justin.
Yes,
I think
we
this
are.
is going to be
That's
Justin's
true.
job.
But Justin,
different.
why do they have to?
You and the rest of America,
Why do they have to see what they have in Justin Fields?
Because I truly believe you trade for this young fella with him being so young, which you didn't have to do, right? You drafted Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett easily could have been your backup with Russell Wilson. You get Kenny Pickett out there, you trade for this young fella. You already heard.
Kenny didn't want to be the backup.
You already heard some of the comments Mike Tomlin talked about with Justin Fields. I think they think that they could change this young fella's career. And if you give him some packages and he looks really well, that's going to turn into more packages.
Packages are packages.
No.
That's packages.
Packages like running.
That's not day in and day out starting. We saw 3 years of that in the results.
I guess
that's a very big difference.
It depends on what you think Justin Fields' ceiling is. Because Joy is right. If you think that we know who Justin Fields is, then it'll stay as packages. If you think his ceiling is high, I think it'll develop. Because, again, I saw it and I watched watched it way too closely with Hurts. It literally was nothing. He was inactive. Then he got a couple packages. Next thing you know, he has more packages. Next thing you know, he's starting. And his first game as a starter, it wasn't great, but they beat the Saints. The Saints were a good team at the time. I think Hurts had over 300 yards total of offense, had like 80 yards rushing. And next thing you know, like, wait, start him the rest of the season.
Justin Fields was a starter for 3 years. Jalen Hurts is way better than Justin Fields.
That's why I said
Jalen Hurts is an all-pro, runner-up to MVP, played in the Super Bowl. Justin Fields had 3 years to do anything and did nothing.
That's my point. If you don't think Fields has potential, like if you think Fields is done,
I think he has potential, but I don't understand why packages would teach us about what he is capable of doing as a starter. A package is a specifically designed play that emphasizes the talent that you have at doing a specific thing.
That's usually how it goes, I would say. You start with packages as a quarterback, and then the packages develop, and then they develop, and then they develop, and then you become a starter.
But to her case, right, compared to Hurts, it's like, yo, he wasn't even playing. So give him a little small. We've seen this guy. I mean, he played 38 games. Do you want to know his record as a starter? Right? Came in as a first rounder, so they gave him the keys. When you're coming as a first rounder, they want to make it so simplify everything for you, make it easier for you. So, like, we acting like we ain't see him play. Did you not see him pass? Did you see him?
Of course.
The turnovers, you see
but not with the
losses?
Steelers, though. That's what they would say. Not with Tomlin, not with the Steelers, not with the Steelers organization. That's what they would say.
That's why the difference between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh is like, in my opinion, the Philadelphia is a wild place to play at, where the fans could be influenced. They get influenced a little bit, right? Now they're whispering, and there's bigger, way bigger media, right? And they're talking about this and that. Okay, let's give them a chance. Where in Pittsburgh, they don't have all that. Right? They don't care about none of that. The fans were complaining about Nick as the head coach. Remember, is he going to be the guy or not? Like, hold on. He's always been to the playoffs. He's been to the Super Bowl. He's had a team that's done well. With Steelers, they don't have that issue, right? They don't win a couple games or a couple years in Pittsburgh, right? And they're still behind Mike Tomlin because he's a really good coach. I think there's two different places to look at.
But we also got to remember, too, this team is in search of a quarterback. We got to understand,
he's not the answer, though.
No, but I'm just saying we have to understand, too, Russell Wilson ain't coming off of 2 phenomenal years neither. Russell Wilson is coming off of 2 really average years, well, a terrible year, and we can say an average year. So once you start doing anything like this, it opens the door for controversy. Mike Tomlin's going to have to answer questions. If Justin Fields comes out there and the package is to run and there's a couple plays to pass and he plays well, it is going to be a problem in Pittsburgh, especially with him being 25 years old. Can this young fella be the future? I believe he can. I believe this job is going to be Justin Fields. And this early, we talking about him already getting in the game?
We're talking about him getting packages. We're talking about specifically designed plays. We are not talking about him being the play in, like, the starter. It is a completely different thing. And you talking about Russ had an average year. Do you want to know? I'm looking for the adjective to describe Justin's.
I know Fields played better.
I can't look at these numbers and then call Russ. Can we do you want me to show you?
No.
Like this last year.
I've never seen a quarterback.
New year.
I've never seen a quarterback, not that I can recall, listed as a quarterback, have packages and it stop at packages. Now, to y'all's point, maybe we've only ever seen rookies get packages, but like typically Kaepernick started with some packages, became the guy. You start with packages, I've never seen a quarterback only have packages and that be it. Like, I've seen gigantic guys.
I'm not even saying that Justin Fields won't develop. My pushback is, why does he have to be developed? Like, I get he's younger than Russ, but Russ is not ancient, and he's, like, objectively speaking, much better than Justin Fields. So even if Russ is to have a great year this year, what would prevent them from signing him to a 3-year deal?
No, obviously it's going to go off of how Russ plays. I'm not saying Russ is not going to be the quarterback of the Steelers if he goes out there and balls out. All I'm saying is Russ is coming off of 2 bad years, maybe not as worse as Fields. Fields is coming off of bad years playing with a different team. Now they both are here. Now you're talking about packages before training camp has even started.
I don't like
that. And you traded for this young fella, so you already had a view of how you're going to use him.
You've playing football for so long and then being on TV for so long. Did you not think they were going to do this, the packages? You had an idea they were going to do this, though, right?
To be honest with you, no. I did not think they would do packages.
I don't like because if you're that good, Russ, we don't need to take you off the field.
I mean, how often if they give him 2 packages a game, like what does that matter?
Let's give him 5 or 6. It's cool. For example, like if you look at the best thing of Justin Fields, what is he?
So
running.
The best thing, what is, I'm asking you though.
But this is all I'm saying. When we talk about packages, let's just look at this. When we talk about packages, so you telling me every time Justin Fields comes into game, it's going to be a QB draw?
This is what I can tell you.
No. Like,
what I can tell you is he won't have no hard reads, though.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.